Mr. Isaiah Pacheco. Not a player that we have mentioned all that much this year, quite frankly, and I have been a little bit of a Pacheco hater, but I like this prop here at 47.5 to go over. As Tom Brawley mentioned, Kareem Hunt, role usage down a little bit banged up. Brashard Smith, the rookie, former receiver, by the way, I thought maybe in their last game when he got all the volume, it's a complete blowout. I mean, an utter blowout where it's like, hey, this is like a scrimmage. Let's give this guy some carries. So I don't think necessarily we'll get to that point in this one, but they are 11-point home favorites. And Pacheco's coming on a little bit. 15 carries for 57 last week with a rushing touchdown. And when I looked into the numbers, I'm like, all right, this looks pretty good. DC has seen the 8th most carries in the league in 7 games, 203. They have given up the 9th highest explosive run percentage. They do give up the 10th fewest adjusted yards before contact, but also the 3rd most after contact. And that's where Pacheco makes his money. 77% of Pacheco's runs come on zone concepts. And out of 57 running backs with at least 25 carries, his 61% success rate on zone concept runs, actually 8th best. Again, coming off his best game of the season. And how about this one? Again, injuries, we don't know. The inactives are not coming down for a while, but Deron Payne is suspect here tonight with a toe injury. They just put their sack leader, Dorrance Armstrong, on IR, and they have Preston Smith and Jalen Holmes, who I never heard of, the second guy. They're the only 2 ends on the roster who weigh over 250 pounds. So I do think that Pacheco is going to be able to get some volume in this one and just grind out a win. And maybe he even rips off a 20-yarder. I mean, this guy did run a 4.40 at the combine. So he does look more explosive to me as well this year. So 47.5, very, very doable number for Pacheco. Next up, we're going to go to the Marcus Mariota prop. As we discussed with the grinder, Tom Brawley, KC has given up the 6th most rushing yards per game to quarterbacks at 26.7. They also give up the 4th most schedule adjusted fantasy points per game to quarterbacks in the running game only. So that's a little bit more of a hardcore look at it. As I mentioned before, back in week 5, Trevor Lawrence had 10 carries for 52 with a couple of rushing tutties. Week before that, Lamar 6 carries for 48. Back in week 3, Russ Wilson even 5 for 27. They faced a couple of non-running quarterbacks as well. So we should get there. And also some design runs as well. So you'll love the design runs. Next up, I'm going to go Deebo. I've been a Deebo guy. I'm a big Deebo guy. In fact, I ranked him over A.J. Brown that year. So I'm not bragging when I say that. But, I do love Deebo, and I always have. It's a good schematic matchup for Deebo. 2.44 yards per route run against the too high safety look. He has played with Mariota quite a bit. Now, the reason I went with the catch prop and not the yardage prop is I do think he should be busy as they play from behind, but he will see a lot of Trent McDuffie, who's good. And that's why they give up the 5th fewest and the 6th fewest yards per route run to slot receivers. Now, they did a hell of a job on Amon-Ra a couple of weeks ago, but he caught 9 balls. In fact, I went over the yardage there, and that is when it was cemented in my head, by the way. Never go in on an over prop against Steve Spagnuolo when you're the guy on the other side, because he will look to take your ass out. They don't really have a guy for DC. It probably would be Jaden Daniels. Maybe it is Deebo. But even if it is, I think we can get to 5 grabs, basically. Probably not going to hit the yardage prop. It'll be close, but I think the catch prop is a little safer. And a very, very similar point would be Zach Ertz. Don't totally trust that he'll get to 33 yards. That is the number. The Opta AI projection was 34. So that's a little too close for comfort. But I got to think, even though it's not the greatest matchup, as KC gives up the 4th fewest receiving yards per game, 3rd fewest receptions, which is not wonderful, but they do give up 3.6. So I guess that's technically a loss, but if we're rounding up, it's 4. But yeah, I mean, we're hoping that it's late in the game. They're playing from behind against a disinterested defense. I think we'll know if this is going to hit by his halftime total. If he has 2 catches at the half, it's a winner. If he has 1, we're in decent shape. If he has 0, we might not get there, but I feel good enough to use it. And then I'm going to go in, last but not least, on this little weird one here. Deebo Samuel over 4.5 rushing yards. It could be just a joke in terms of he does not get a carry, or he could get a carry on the first play of the game, as he did in Marcus Mariota's first start, and it could be over like that. Let's hope for the latter and go over 4.5. He does have 1 carry at least in 4 of 6 games. He has hit 7 yards in 3 of those 4. And like I mentioned, he's got 8 carries on the season, and 6 of those carries came in Mariota's 2 starts. 3 carries in each. So I think the 2 high safeties will prevent big plays, but will also maybe helpful at times for them running the rock, whether it be their running backs, Deebo, or Mariota. So there are my 5 actual props that we're in on. Feel pretty good about a winning night. 3-2, 4-1 would be nice. 5-0 would be, it's like about time, guys. Fantasy gods, NFL gods. I do have a rushing prop that I'm in on tonight as well, and it's just too good of a payout. Marcus Mariota to hit pay dirt at plus 370. It's a guy who's going to take off and run 6-7 times, most likely. They're not great in the red zone. They don't have great red zone guys other than Ertz, by the way. So maybe they do opt to try a design run or 2 inside the red zone, and or he takes off and runs and hits pay dirt, plus 370. That's not too shabby. And we have one more item of business to get to. It is your Monday night special. We have been kind of all in on one player over the last 3 or 4 of these. And for the most part, we've been on the right track. Noah Fant, we double dipped a couple of weeks ago, just missed his special. We double dipped on Zach Ertz a couple of weeks ago, just missed his special. We also did double dip on Hansen Thursday night. That didn't work out, but if they had any semblance of a viable offense and any semblance of protection, that puppy would have hit. So we're in tonight on Isaiah Pacheco. So I think the guy has run for 70 or more yards multiple times in his career. Why not now? Why not tonight at home? Nice and rested. Kareem Hunt a little bit banged up. 11-point favorites. Excellent schematic matchup with the zone running. Undersized defensive front. Daron Payne banged up. If he's out, that would be absolutely massive. So let's do it. Isaiah Pacheco hits 70 yards at a plus 302 payout. That would be your Monday night special.
Thanks for watching, but don't let the betting insights end here. If you want an extra edge this football season, you can get a month of VSiN Pro right now absolutely free. That means access to our betting insights, analysis, and tools like our betting splits at 0 cost to you. Click the link in the description to sign up.